conversation keeps on flowing. The energy just keeps on growing. You be you, stand tall, shine through. You be you. You be no stopping but style. You be no stopping but style. Season 1, we found our sound. Voices rising all around. Every story, every face. Together we claimed our place. You be you. Stand tall, shine through. You be you. This is your breakthrough. The conversation keeps on flowing. The energy just keeps on growing. You be you. Stand tall, shine through. You be you. You be no style.
Hey everyone, this is William Rochelle, but you can call me Bill. And this is a short segment of UBU Live. And today I'm going to talk about several different topics. I'm looking to run about 20 minutes, so hold on tight because there's a lot to cover. First of all, with breaking news, which I think we should all be concerned about, they have just announced that they are closing Alligator Alley. And if any of you recognize Alligator Alley, it is a fortress that the Trump administration has created to house illegal immigrants. And the question of illegal is questionable because we don't know. They've never had a proper court hearing. So we spent several $100 million on Alligator Alcatraz less than 60 days ago, and it is now closing. The second part is DOGE has cost us several $100 million instead of saving us money. So there's that. So there's several things that we need to start talking about as a community, as a family, and as a network. All of these things impact us from a LinkedIn perspective. So it's not my opinion. These are just facts. And I'm not going to stick with the news, by the way. So just bear with me here. But if you understand what's going on, if you're on LinkedIn, then you need to know that within this administration, 3,000 companies have announced mass layoffs. That's tech, finance, retail manufacturing, Oracle, Intel, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, and yes, John Deere is cutting hundreds more jobs. So in total, employers have eliminated over 806,000 jobs already this year. That's more than the entire year of last year. Why am I saying this here on LinkedIn? Because this is where opportunity meets resilience. When job seekers flood the market and openings shrink, the competition gets brutal. LinkedIn isn't just resumes, it's where people find their lifeline. And if you're tuned out of the news because it feels too heavy, here's the truth. Ignorance does not protect you, it leaves you unprepared. Now, this isn't random. This is the result of choices. The result of choices. So we have intentionally hurt ourselves in America. So Nebraska ended its fiscal year with an $806 million revenue shortfall. That's not a Nebraska problem. It's an American warning sign because we are the United States. So if Nebraska is $86 million underwater, then they can't contribute to the federal tax, which means that it impacts all social services. California, which I am from, has already threatened to withhold federal tax payments if Washington slashes vital funding. Now, California contributes more to our federal government than any other state. California is supporting a great segment of the United States. So when you guys say, "Oh, I hate California," don't forget that they're actually paying the bills for Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. Part of that money goes to the states that are underserving. Meanwhile, China and Japan hold the largest share of US dollars or US bonds. So if they decided to cash those bonds in, the dollar could collapse overnight. And we keep poking the bear. This isn't just politics. This is your groceries, your rent, your paycheck, all of it. And what's concerning to me is that I grew up in Los Angeles and I was a little bitty baby in the 80s, but I can still remember the news and the Crips and Bloods that destroyed entire neighborhoods over the color of a rag. It was red versus blue. You couldn't wear a certain color in a certain area. Fast forward to today, and what do we have here? The same stupidity, only now it's in suits and ties. Red states versus blue states, Republicans versus Democrats. And instead of street corners, it's in the halls of Congress. The people leading this fight aren't kids on a corner. These are Ivy League educated politicians, professors, and so-called leaders acting out the same nonsense on a national scale. And here's the truth. When red fights blue, the ones who lose aren't the politicians, it's us. It's our families, workers, communities, generations, farmers. We're not Crips, we're not Bloods, we're not red, we're not blue. We are the United States, and we need to start acting like it. It's so frustrating. Another breaking news point, Kenneth Dunner, that I'd like you to understand, and I'd like you to comment on, is they have just announced, I'm shaking, they have just announced that they are removing Secret Service for Kamala Harris. Now, we like to say that we are beyond racial politics or identity politics. That's a lie. Kamala Harris is our first female vice president. Kamala Harris is a woman of color. She is on a book tour, and she has no protection. There's a bounty on her head because, as we know, there are crazies out there. And as we know, the leader of this administration at one point gave out Barack Obama's actual physical address. We understand what happened to Nancy Pelosi's husband. So I'm afraid for Kamala Harris. I'm also afraid for us as a nation, because it doesn't just stop at economics or politics. Women's rights are being stripped, voting rights are being carved away. National Guard troops have already been deployed to California and to DC, and potentially 19 other states that are just happen to be blue. Going back to the Crips versus Blood, red versus blue, this is ridiculous. This means US soldiers, our own soldiers, are being positioned against American citizens. And if you watch the news, we are paying millions of dollars for this deployment. And right now, what is the National Guard doing? They're cleaning up trash in parks in DC. Because the crime, the emergency is fictitious. There's nothing for them to do. Don't think it can't touch you. And if not you, then your brother, your sister, your parents, anyone who dares to think differently. Let's stop othering each other and love each other, because this concern is not about me. I told a friend of mine who happens to be a Trump supporter and he's from Venezuela. I said, my concern for you is not about me. I am an American citizen. I was born here. My mother was born here. My grandparents were born here, and their grandparents were born here, and their grandparents were slaves. So it's not about me. I'm not going to get deported tomorrow. It's about us. This moment we put everything else aside, not as black, not as white, not as Asian, Hispanic, or Hindu, or Buddhist, or whatever you want to clear yourself. Because if the dollar falls, if costs keep rising, if rights keep shrinking, and if we stay divided, we all lose. Unity is not just a slogan now, it's survival. I'm going to say it one more time for those of you that did not hear me. Kamala Harris has no Secret Service protection. He has taken that away. They just closed Alligator, or are closing Alligator Alley, which cost us hundreds of millions of dollars. But they took away, with the big beautiful bill, Social Security, your health benefits. Doge costs us more money, and we have no security for the National Association of NOAA. I don't know what it stands for. This is a live show, so please excuse me. We have no great army right now because Pete Hegseth does not know what he's doing. He's a Fox News host and an alcoholic. And this is not about alcoholics, because that is a disease. But this is not a joke. And we need to think about it, because for some of us, this is a beautiful 3-day weekend. Some of you guys, 4 days. It's Labor Day weekend, right? But for others of us, Labor Day has been 365 days of a weekend. And 800,000 more people just entered the job seeker market. So are we great again? Whew. I'm sorry. I know this is heavy, and it should be. But here's the good news. Even in times like this, we still get to choose how we show up. And that's why season 2 of UVU Live matters. Because if there was ever a time we needed real voices, honest conversation, and community, it is now. Season 1 was a discovery. I didn't expect to create a podcast. I had no plan, no script. I still have no script. It's just live. You showed up. We started something together, and it's just growing. There are 89 people right now watching my little 15-minute promo talk. So thank everybody out there for joining. I appreciate that. And I will make this quick so you guys can get on with your day. But although season 1 was a roll of the dice, season 2 is more intentional. So Sundays at 4 p.m., every Sunday, UVU Live will have deeper conversations with sharper vision. I'm going to take a little bit from my best friend, Mike LeBlanc, and it will still be unscripted, but I will have a direction outline that I want to take that show for each show. Sundays at 4 p.m., Cousin Talk. No prep, no script, just real family connection. And if you guys don't understand Cousin Talk, I will be meeting cousins that I don't know existed. So we're going, season 1's cast. We will have some people returning. Well, they'll all return, but we will have more new faces, because the ones that we met last year we just had so much to talk about and we were so excited about it. We just kept, doing the same old thing. But it's not going to be Debbie Scott every Sunday, every Saturday. It's going to be a various group of people and people that I don't know. Wednesday special will include men's talk, which my bestie Jeremy and Kenneth and Peter and Michael, we all talked about that the other day. And it's an honest healing needed space. However, Jeremy would like to also have a roasting session. So roast the host. So if you want to be roasted on one of our Wednesday shows, sign up because we would love to have you and we will roast you. And I am too sensitive, so I can get roasted, but only once. I can't get roasted every Wednesday. So roast the host will be the co-host, and that's it. And then um, my other show for season 2, which is the final one, and then everything else will be special editions, will be my brother talk show. My brother Philip and I have two completely views of the world. We grew up in the same house, but we have totally separate recollections of what our childhood was like. And that's very interesting because you need to see the world through somebody else's lens to understand who they are. And as adults, we have learned to accept each other for our differences and love each other for our differences. As children, that was harder because I believe some of us, not all of us, because I'm not going to put all of us in one group, try to put each other in our box. So we try to say, you know, you should be more like me. My daughters do that sometimes. And they are two totally different people. And I keep telling them, you don't want her life and she doesn't want yours. Like they wouldn't want each other's lives. So stop putting that on each other, that expectation. So we're building something with purpose. This isn't just a show, it's a movement. And you out there are the heartbeat. You are the heartbeat. Now, we have several different shows on the lineup right now. We're going to start with September 7th, which I will leave a link to that show. And I really want everyone to RSVP to the shows. We have 110 people watching right now. This is fantastic. I really want people to RSVP so we know in advance how many people will be attending, and then it grows from there. So last Sunday, we had Curtis Brooks. Before the show even started, we had more than 200 people that had said they were going to attend. The Sunday before, or the Wednesday before, the Tuesday before that, we had Lanier Johnston from Linkability. Prior to that show, we had a couple of hundred people that said they would attend. We're at 119 right now. So please click on the link and tell me that you're going to attend. I would really appreciate that, because the more people that come, the more people that we talk. Subscribe to my newsletter, subscribe to my YouTube. I am doing everything in my power to connect and bring something to you that is of value, not just to hear myself talk, like Kenneth likes to say. So September 7th will be Bambi Lynn. That is her name. I always put Bambi Markowski, but she really goes by Bambi Lynn. And Bambi Lynn has written 2 books that we've already talked about. And her 3rd book was just released. And her story is one of resilience, faith, and rising. There were so many obstacles. There were so many reasons for her to be bitter, but she has come through it stronger, wiser, and more loving. And she's built a closer relationship between herself, her faith, and her God. So I urge you to attend that. Bambi is always a wonderful guest. We will probably not go through her history on this one because she's already been on before. but we will talk about, the future and her new book. She just drove her daughter from, I believe, Georgia, I could be wrong, to Alaska and back. And I'm so stupid, I didn't know you could drive to Alaska, but she did. She's a remarkable person. She's a remarkable friend, and you guys will love him. On October 14th, I am going to have a one-on-one conversation with Felipe Cofino. And in addition to talking about his new book, Miranda and Max, which is now on Amazon, available for purchase, I would like to know how he went about self-publishing, because we all have things that we think about doing, and no action is inaction. So I kind of want to know how he actually got into the role of publishing and self-publishing on Amazon. So this is something that I want to learn about, and hopefully some of you guys might say, you know what, I didn't know I could do that. So October 14th, Felipe Cofino, that event has not been created. I will create it right after this cast. And then on October 5th, we have a guest, and circle this. October 5th, which is a Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, we welcome Ms. Main, an extraordinary writer whose words stop you mid-scroll. Raw, vulnerable, powerful. I've followed her work since I've been on Substack, and now you and I get to hear her live. This isn't just about thinking, it's about feeling and being changed. She had I'll tell you just this quick recap, which, and Michael, you probably remember this, and Peter, she left a live post. It was maybe a 2-minute post about how she had just gotten laid off, and how she was at a senior level, yet her being laid off was not treated with respect, and she was unaware. And I would tell you right now, it is nerve-wracking to be in the job seeker's role. So check that one out on October 5th. We're not going to talk about the negative. We're going to talk about the positive. Her writing is phenomenal. And maybe, just maybe, after we speak to Felipe, I can give her some tips on how to publish some of her work, if she hasn't already done that. So I don't know if she has or not. So here's where we land. I'm wrapping up, guys, so don't worry about it. Admit what's broken. And right now, it seems like everything is broken. Admit where you've been stuck. Admit where you are afraid, and then move forward. America doesn't collapse because we disagree. In fact, we were built on the fact that we can disagree. We can speak our mind. We can share our thoughts. We can burn a flag, which obviously is no longer a right, because someone just got arrested for that. I want you guys to just take note of everything that's happening. So America doesn't collapse because we disagree. America collapses because we forget we belong to each other. We forget that we belong to each other. And so, when I say that, I'm going to look back, and I talk about it all the time. You guys need to get this. I'm a part of a couple of networks. But there's a group of guys, you guys know who you are: Kenneth, Michael, Peter, Felipe, Spencer Collins, and Jeremy. And there are other people that are in that group too. But we talk, and we talk real, and we share our ups and downs, our highs and lows, and we're not afraid to be vulnerable. We belong to each other, but we all come from separate communities, separate age groups. I mean, I think Peter's the youngest, and I'm probably the oldest, so we just belong to different demographics. We belong to a different background, everything, but we connect. Season 2 is here, starting September 7th. Your seat at the table is waiting. RSVP, show up and bring your full self and ask as many questions as you want. And remember, you're only limited to your dreams. If you can believe it, if you can see it, you can achieve it. By the way, I put on mascara today to make my eyes look better. You be you live means that I don't hold back anything. And I love you all. And Spencer, of course I mentioned your name. Why wouldn't I? And you guys have a great weekend. Kenneth, Mike, Jeremy, let me know in our group chat what's going on next, and I'll meet you there. Bye, guys.
They sold us images, painted lies on the screen, told us who we are, what to love, what to dream. Division in the field, division in the house. Skin against skin, that's what it's about. Lines in the sand, walls in the mind, barriers built to keep us blind. Generations taught what to believe, but the truth is deeper than what we see. When division's the strategy, unity's the revolution. Love is the answer. Truth is the solution. Tear down the story, break the illusion. When division's the strategy, unity's the revolution. Media told us what a man should be. Cool rebel, polished king on TV. But the script ain't ours, it was bought and sold. Now we're chasing shadow, forgetting our soul. Whose story are you living? Who's pulling your strings? Time to stop drifting, reclaim everything. We were born for connection, not this manufactured fight. Choose each other, step into the light. Hey! When division's the strategy,